This morning, new allegations that could shed light on former President Trump's handling of government secrets. ABC News and the New York Times cite sources familiar with the matter who say Trump revealed information about U.S. nuclear submarines to Australian billionaire Anthony Pratt at Mar-a-Lago after Trump had left the White House. ABC, which was first to report the story, said Pratt then, quote, allegedly shared the information with scores of others, including more than a dozen foreign officials, several of his own employees, and a handful of journalists. Both ABC News and the New York Times report the matter was investigated by special counsel Jack Smith's office. The reporting has not been confirmed by NBC News, and representatives for Donald Trump, Anthony Pratt, and Jack Smith have not responded to requests for comment. Joining us now, MSNBC Chief International Analyst Admiral James Stavridis and former Supreme Allied Commander at NATO, and Dave Ehrenberg, State Attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida. So, Admiral, ABC reports that Trump allegedly told Pratt the number of nuclear warheads U.S. submarines usually carry and how close they can supposedly get to a Russian sub without being detected. What makes this so dangerous?
Well, first and foremost, as you point out, it's the tactical information, which we know was then spread widely by this Australian billionaire who talked to literally dozens of people. So you can imagine the ripple effect. And let me tell you something as an admiral, the crown jewel of naval warfare is the ability of those submarines to get close to their opponents. When someone reveals exactly what our capabilities are, it undermines that tactical advantage. Go back and watch the movie Hunt for Red October. This is very dangerous material to be in the hands of complete amateurs. And then secondly, strategically, when you add this to the endless pile, it feels, of classified material, paper down at Mar-a-Lago, for which President Trump is appropriately arraigned and facing trial. Think of the effect strategically in the world. Are our allies willing to continue to share the highest grade intelligence with us? Do they want to move forward sharing, knowing that it's going to be casually discussed over cocktails at Mar-a-Lago? It's disastrous tactically and strategically.
Yeah, and I mean, Admiral, the ABC also reported, quote, some of the Australian officials that sources said he, meaning Pratt, told were involved in then ongoing negotiations with the Biden administration over a deal for Australia to buy a number of nuclear-powered attack subs from the U.S. What's the significance of this?
Well, that's wildly inappropriate from a business perspective. We're in a deep negotiation about the highest end military technology, and it's, my view, a very good thing that we're going to work with the Australians and our British allies to get nuclear submarine capability in the hands of the Australians. But it's a negotiation, and so you don't want to be revealing what is, in effect, deep insider information to the counterparty with whom you're negotiating. So, yeah, let's add that to tactical disaster, strategic disaster, and business inappropriate.
And Dave, none of this was included in the federal indictment in June. What does it tell you about the scope of Jack Smith's probe?
Good to be with you, Jose. First of all, I was really surprised that this guy Pratt spoke to 45 plus people. I mean, what a gossip, right? I mean, that's loose lips. But as far as whether or not Jack Smith's going to seek an indictment for this, I'm not sure, because there's already been one superseding indictment. To go for another one could delay the ultimate trial in this case further. And, you know, Jack Smith wants this thing to get going. But I think also the fact that this information, as the Admiral said, is so important and sensitive, the DOJ may not want it to come out in court. Remember, this is not about a document. This is about a verbal communication. And so you'd have to discuss it in open court. You got to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. That's a violation of the Espionage Act, the dissemination part. Trump to this day has not been charged with dissemination. He's been charged with willful retention of documents. So Jack Smith could charge it, but if he did so, I'm not sure the juice is worth the squeeze. It would be the 41st count against the former president, and it would put perhaps some of our biggest secrets at risk in open court. So I think they're just going to call Pratt to the witness stand to show a pattern of reckless behavior by Trump. Not so sure they're going to actually indict Trump over this dissemination.
And Dave, in other Trump legal news, Trump filed a motion to dismiss the Washington, D.C. election interference case on presidential immunity grounds. How strong is that?
It's a terrible argument. I mean, he has no chance of winning there. There's nothing in the law that gives anyone absolute immunity, presidential immunity or anything, because the law does not create a king out of the president. I mean, think about it. Donald Trump is arguing that he can have immunity for anything he did while he was president. And DOJ has an internal policy against indicting a sitting president for anything that the person did at any time in his or her life. And Donald Trump has said that he cannot be impeached for his actions for any reason. So I guess that means, according to Trump's lawyers, that he's the king. This is why we left England and George III. So I don't think it's going to succeed. But, you know, he may win by losing, because this could go all the way up to the Supreme Court, which has not ruled on this ever before. And that's a way for him to try to delay the D.C. case past the election.